We did a 7th chord harmony review, and you can start, even though we didn't, with a review of the theory. So if you play your first string, you isolate the 3rd note of the scale, G sharp, and the 5th note, B natural. That's your E major triad. Minor flattens the 3, diminished flattens the 5, augmented sharpens the 5 but adds the major 3rd back. There's your 4 triads, and your octave, as you know, is a 12. So your major 7ths at 11, that's a D sharp, and your minor 7th interval is at 10, that's a D natural. So you have an octave, major 7, minor 7. We're talking about intervals. So now as we combine the triads in the interval, in the 7th, we get the 7th chords. So major plus major equals the major 7th chord. Okay, minor 7th is minor all the way through. Minor triad, minor 7th. Excuse me. And then the dominant 7th kind of fuses the two principles. So the triad's major, but the 7th is minor. It's like a clash. It has dissonance in it. So then you can put that on the fretboard. But before I do that, I want to remind you, E, A, and D are the same voicing. 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3. The third's on the top. That's why you have to lower it when you go minor. A minor, E, E minor. And then when you add the notes around it back in, you get a low root. So root, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. So there's 2 fifths and 3 roots in this chord. Root, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root. A is the same, it's just 1 note less. So it still starts with the root. Root, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th. And D is the shortest of all. Root, 5th, root, 3rd. So it's just a simplification of the same principle, which is great because E and A form are principal chord voicings. So you've already sort of memorized one, you've memorized the other 2. So now I'm going to start with the A shape because it's the most comfortable. So if you start with an E major, 1, 5, 1, 3, then you take that octave and you lower it to a major 7th. So now you have a major triad with a major 7th. That's your major 7 chord. E major 7, just like over the bridge. Drop that again to a minor 7th. Now you have a major triad with a flat 7th, which is a dominant 7 chord. This is the standard one, just written as E7 in any book. And then now my pinky's playing that major 3rd. If I lower that to a minor, now I have a minor triad and a minor 7th, so it's E minor 7. So major 7, dominant 7, minor 7. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the E form chord. I'll do this on an A. Here's your octave, major 7th, minor 7th. So you have A major, major 7, which I use for time, is this kind of more delicate 2-fret chord with a jazz style fingering. And then the A dominant 7th, standard major no pinky, A minor 7, standard minor no pinky. So when you were doing time, it was every year is getting shorter, staying home to watch the rain. 2 major 7s, and then it goes down the chain. And then one day you find 10 years of God behind you. Minor 7s. And then E takes you back home to the F sharp minor key. We did that Bessie Smith song, which is an old standard blues jazz song, but it just revisited the diminished 7th chord, which is a standard flat finger A at 1, then the root F sharp, then the ring finger on the G string. No A, no high E. So the turnaround there was F sharp minor 7, F sharp diminished, excuse me, then to G minor 7 and C7. It's a standard jazz thing. 1, sharp 1 diminished, 2, 5. You can do it in other keys. So G sharp diminished 7, A minor 7, C7, and then A sharp diminished 7, B minor 7, E7. And that's in Till There Was You. I think it's kind of in Michelle, some aspects of it. Anyways, that's the Bessie Smith song. The rest were 7th chords. And then, let's see. The 3rd chart, I Gave You Time. Nobody Loves You When You're Down and Out. And When I'm 64. When I'm 64 is pretty self-explanatory. The one thing that isn't is the root motion. When I get older, It's just a C and a C over G. That's putting the fifth in the bass, which is the country style bass. One of the most common bass lines in all of popular music. All right, dude, I think that's what we covered. Have fun.